Good day, everyone. We're here today not just to celebrate 40 years of remarkable life, but to honor a journey, one that has shaped many lives, held space for people, and has carried pain, joy, purpose, and continues to do so. Today isn't just about receiving answers, it's about discovery. The gift we are receiving today is not just of her presence, but by getting the gift of her story. Raw, real, and rich. Let's make welcome Toyinset Ogunbemi, a wife, mother, HR professional, mentor, and friend to many others. But to you, the readers and listeners, TeeWai. Thank you so much for joining us. So I'd like to start with just looking back to your younger self. Say between the ages of, maybe when you're younger to about 15 or 16. Can you tell me about Oriyomi?
Yes, that's the name I like to call her. The younger version of me.
Yeah.
I'd say she was very intense, very serious. A bit too serious for a child, if you ask me. If I look back, I've always acted older than my age, and I still do that even now. Hence the reason some people will be shocked knowing I'm just turning 40, right? I think that she was searching for something. She wanted answers. She wanted clarity. She wanted to be sure she was doing the right thing. The right thing really meant a lot to me when I was younger because I felt like I carried that responsibility. And it wasn't because anybody gave it to me. I just always found myself on the right side of things. So I wanted to maintain that streak. I wanted to know things. And there wasn't Google at the time. You couldn't Wikipedia anything. You couldn't AI anything. So you make do with information from people. So I had a habit of asking questions and sitting by older people and just hearing them talk. If they are reading a book and they sound intelligent, I go find the book on my father's library or in my father's library and I read it. So I found that reading was one of the things that formed Oriyomi. It transformed me. It took me to countries I have never been in physically. It took me through language I didn't develop because someone tutored me per se. Books framed my language, my thinking, and exposed me. Even my walk with God. In that window, I believe strongly that the books I read, the influences I had, played a huge role on the foundation of my faith to date.
Interesting. What would you say, you had mentioned something about the countries you visited, either through the books that you had read.
Yeah.
What particular country stuck out for you, and have you been able to visit that country?
No, funny enough. First it was the British, right? My dad had a lot of British inclined book because of course he lived in the colonial era and had stories and history, and I would take them and I'll read them and I'll chuckle and I'd feel like I'm dressed in all these British flowing gowns with my hair packed in a bun too, with bows, and I'll picture myself in that world. I haven't been able to travel there, but it's interesting. And I now work with people who live there, and I'll work with an organization registered there. So who knows, fingers crossed.
So
I might end up exactly. I might end up going all the glamour and all the, they have a way they look, they have a way they talk, and I think that really influenced sort of my early approach to fashion as well.
Interesting. There was something you said when you were describing Oriyomi, and you had said you always wanted to be right.
Yeah.
On the right side of things.
Yeah.
Was there any time in your life where it didn't seem that way? A significant moment where it just felt like all I have been doing that is right just didn't culminate to that point?
Right. I think there are. It will be more than one. I think that when you are wired, maybe perfectionist, I like to say I'm a recovering one. I'm no more perfectionist. I allow some scatter.
Okay.
When you have that trait, when you feel like, oh, you are the good girl, daddy expects you to be good, mommy expects you to, your friends look up to you, your younger ones, older ones, and you just feel like no one is saying this, by the way, but somehow you just feel responsible.
Yeah.
So the tiniest things were a big deal to me when I failed at anything. Say I came back home and I came 5th. But for someone else, that's like, you passed.
Yeah.
But for me, I failed. I should come first. So I remember one of the first times that someone, went ahead of me in a class, I really felt like I failed. But I think what hit me more in that moment was the fact that the failure was not mine. I feel like I failed my dad. I've always been largely a daddy's girl, and I know that he had high standards for me. He didn't necessarily school me and tell me every day, but I carried that responsibility. So every time I failed, I saw his face first. Every time I made a bad judgment, I saw his face. I would say my father was my first face of my conscience before I started to walk in faith. So it was like, what will daddy think? How will daddy feel? But as I grew older, that face evolved. And I think I'm at a place where I can say God and the Holy Spirit is the face of my conscience. I feel like I didn't do justice to your question, so please calm down on what you need me to speak on.
No, I think it's fine, actually. I wanted to just get a sense of what pushed you towards choosing to be right or to be on the right side of things, right? And I think with what you've said now, you've talked about your dad and his face being the face of consciousness, or conscience rather, and you just looking up to that and ensuring that you don't fail him. And I think in some sense, that pushed you to be on the right side of things.
Yeah.
My next question would be, at what point, so let me start this way. For someone like me, I or through my journey, right? When I'm doing the right things, I feel there's an end to it. There's a success that comes with it, right? But there are certain times where I've gone to ask God that I did everything right, but why did this happen to me? So was there ever an experience where you had to ask that question? Why did this happen to me? I have been on the right side of things.
Oh, yes. I believe that I have never openly spoken about this except when I'm teaching, preaching, or challenging other people. I have had I'd say 3 sexual assault cases. And I say assault, not abuse, because it never went that far. And in those moments, one comes to mind very vividly because I did everything right? So what's most painful is that you didn't put yourself in the situation.
Exactly.
When you find yourself abused, assaulted, the first thing that comes to your mind is, how did I let this happen? But every time I played back that event, I've recovered from that. I used to feel like I could have done something. So the one that I isolate the most is because it was just not, I was in my space. In fact, the funniest part of it is it was Valentine's Day and everyone had decided to go hang out till Mama calls.
Yeah.
And I stayed in my guest house as a copper. I stayed where I was supposed to be. I did the right thing.
Yeah.
I stayed. I was engaged. I already had my engagement ring. Everybody knew, oh, Tony is engaged to Seth. Some of them had not met him, but they knew. So I sat in my space and didn't go hang out. So it didn't make sense to me that in that safe space, I thought I was by myself. Someone will walk in, someone will grab me, push me into a room, increase the volume of music, I can't even remember, but it was very loud music, and drown my shouting, grip me. I'm very smallish. I've added some weight. So it is so easy for a person to hold. I remember he held 2 of my hands with one hand. And I'm sharing this because sometimes people look at me and think, I don't understand. I may not have experienced what people have, but in that moment, all I thought of was all the work. Toyin the good girl, Toyin the forthright girl, Jesus baby. This is a married man about to have his way with you. And I remember in that moment, in the spirit of being raw and real, I said, please, I am a virgin. Please, I begged. And he said, are you sure? Is it possible? Are you not engaged to this guy? I said, he's a better man than you are. When I said it in my mind, I will not lie. I said, may this guy not choke me or kill me because it's only me and you in this place and he has increased. But something about what I said struck him and he stopped. So waist down, he left me. But he did everything else that he could do and had his way and then left me. The moment for him had passed. He was very strong and scary. I'd never seen that kind of emotion before. He seemed very taken over by something. I know this man. I work with him. He's a senior, way senior, if you get what I mean. So by the time I left that room, I went and showered over 15 times. And I'm not exaggerating. I kept bathing, I'm bathing. And I remembered my friend who had said to me, stay awake. She was the reason I was staying awake, by the way, to open the door for her at 2 a.m. when she'll come. Came and said, I was calling you, you didn't answer. And I said, I'm sorry. And I didn't tell her what happened. And I just stayed in the bathroom under the water and just cried. So an interesting thing, I walk into church. This was a Saturday. Yeah. I walk into church the next day. And the pastor's sermon is, get up, get over it, and move on. And I'm like, no, you've got to be kidding me. Get up from what? Get over what? I walked out of the church. It was like he was talking to me. It was like I wasn't ready. And I'm like, Holy Spirit, really? And he said, go back. He's not attacking you. He's teaching you to confront it. This thing took a long journey. It was a long journey because I felt like it took something from me that I had preserved so jealously. But I'm learning that that doesn't define a person. Yeah. But it took me a long journey to get there. So that's why I make the journey easier for people now. I wouldn't let anyone not feel. They deserve to feel it. So I would cry again and again. How could he? How could he? But I'm glad that it didn't steal all of me. I fought back. I found my way. And I realized God doesn't see me as anything less because of that moment. If anything, he's hurt that one of his children took advantage of another one. And so I offer grace to people, and I feel like it helped me cancel people who have been sexually abused, male or female, better, because I know I have a sense of that feeling you get by the morning after or the hours after. You just feel totally used and terrible and sinful, and then you start to walk from there towards healing.
So you talked about the journey.
Yeah.
And I just want to hear, how did I in any way shape your thoughts around God, forgiveness? I know you had mentioned where the journey took you and where you eventually got to.
Yeah.
But within the journey, were there significant moments where you had to talk to God and you had to ask questions and you had to, define a few things?
Absolutely. Many moments. I asked him why. So I get it now when people say, God, why will you let my daughter die? God, why will you let this happen? Why will you let this person have an accident? I asked him why. And that's why I tell people that God doesn't have self-esteem issues. He can answer questions. So we hear all this, you don't question God. I say question him. It doesn't mean you disrespect him. He's your father. If my daughter came to my husband to say, Daddy, why did you not buy it for me? Daddy, why did you not do this for me? He responds. He's not angry. You have a right to approach a loving father with a question. Yeah. So I asked, not once, not twice. I said, my life could have gone on without it. You could have taken the thought out of his mind. So I know the feeling. I said, you could have stopped him in between. You could have warned me. I would have stood up from that spot. You could have, I played it back many times and I reorganized the script of that day over and over again. Then there was the phase of judging myself.
Yeah.
Maybe I was consciously weak. Maybe I gave him signs like, oh, I like you too. Maybe I must have been flirting without knowing. Oh, I went through all the works. But I knew I didn't do these things. But there's a voice in your head that is telling you it's your fault. Why you? What do you have? This person is bigger. This person is more lively. This person is more social. Why you? Yeah. Why did he choose you? So the accuser's voice doesn't go away. What drowns it is when you tilt to loving father. So for me, it's a spectrum. Loving father, accuser. So for every time he's the one running my mind, accuser. So I'm living with accusation, self-judgment, pressure, all of those things. Every time I move to the spectrum of loving father, I'm not sure that I have all the answers. I will not tell a lie. But I'm certain that all things are working together for my good. That assurance is that all things don't have to be great. All things don't have to be awesome. Yeah. It means I will have difficulties, but it adds up to me fulfilling purpose. It means that things will happen to me without my permission, and they would take something from me, but he will heal me and revive me. Because in this world, we will have troubles.
Yeah.
So I've made peace with that. But did I question God? Absolutely. Did I feel less many times? Yes. I felt like everybody knew. By the way, when I walked into that church that morning, I felt like people were looking at me differently. So I understand when people abuse come to me for counseling and they say, everybody sees it. They know it happened. And I say, no, they don't know. We don't know. But just looking at you like we will have looked at you. If you didn't tell me, I won't know. But you feel it. You feel like all eyes are on you. And you're like, maybe daddy knows. Maybe mommy knows. Maybe everybody knows. My friend knows. And then you carry that. But when you see and experience the Father's love, when I talk about God's love, I get emotional because I feel like I'm God's poster girl for love. When you experience the peace of His love, it doesn't take away what happened to you. It just makes you experience it. Not in a painful way, but in a purpose-driven way. So now I don't worry about sharing it. And I think that's why I didn't cry sharing it, because I've shared it over and over again to uplift other people and to help them see that you can be free and happy and alive one day. It will pass. It always passes.
It will pass.
Yeah.
All things work together for good.
Yep.
To those who love
Absolutely.
God. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There was something you had mentioned, self-judgment.
Yeah.
Self-criticism. And I want to tie that to something, self-righteousness.
Right.
And being judgmental.
Yep.
Could you describe the journey of that for me across from, maybe back from Oriyomi to your early 30s till date?
Yeah.
What has that been like?
My personality type, maybe it's not my personality type, Oriyomisha, is self-righteous. I'm using is, not was, because it's still there. What is self-righteousness? I'll define it the way I like to see it. It's like putting yourself on a high horse and convincing yourself everybody needs to be on that horse to look good. Oh, I didn't club, so people shouldn't club. I've never drank in my life. If you drink, you're a sinner. I've never cheated. And then you go on and on with this many long list of things that you haven't done. You haven't walked their journey. You didn't grow up in their environment. You don't know if they came from dysfunctional backgrounds. You don't know if life offered them pain from the day they were born. Yeah. And you sit there, cute girl. You had daddy and mommy. You had these aunties and uncles you grew up with who were looking out for you. So there was no one under the house or in your house who could hurt you because of them. You are forgetting that support system gave birth to the righteousness that you now parade around. Yeah. I didn't come to this knowledge immediately, I would not lie. In my teenage years, I was quite arrogant. I felt that it was positive and it was negative. I felt that me, nobody can ask me out to. Have you met you? It's the way I will even treat the boys. You know, all this crush, all these things that used to happen there when you're a teenager. This boy likes you, sends a letter through one classmate that gives it to you. And like me, him, never. He's not even that smart. He doesn't even pass. He's not. So it started small like that. And then started to, it trickled into my walk with God too. I felt like if I can say no to sin, why can't people say no? So I didn't understand when people said peer pressure, because peer pressure is not a problem I have.
Yeah.
I've never done things because people are doing it. If anything, I do the opposite intentionally. I don't know why I'm like that, but that is me. If something is trending, I will not watch it. Game of Thrones, case in point. I digress intentionally. Everybody was watching. If you're talking about it, I'm like, I'm not doing it. Just because everybody's talking about it, I'm not going to do it. So peer pressure now. No, I haven't. Peer pressure has nothing on me. So I also judged people who were people pleasers, peer pressure driven. What changed? I met the love of God. The thing about growing up in an Orthodox background, I was born into a Catholic home. It gives you structure, it gives you discipline, but there's also religion. And the burden of religion, not in the sense of I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, religion as a practice where you have rituals and where you have rituals and repetitive rites. I do it again. I say my rosary every day. Those things make you feel special. You are doing it. You're on top of the world. And so someone who isn't doing it is not as great. Will have problems. You'll be like, it was meant to happen. When you wore a short skirt, what did you expect to happen to you? I'm no more that girl. I don't see that anymore. Because I encountered God's love above religion. I embraced a relationship. And in this relationship, God exposed me to the why behind people. So a child is rebellious. Why? Before I'll just say, how can a child be so bad-mannered? But now I want to ask why. Because God tells me he didn't design that child that way. So life did something to that person's conscription or wiring. So why? So the more I started to dig for why, the more I found pain, bad parenting, fear, transferred patterns in families that are disturbing and dysfunctional. I found that some people don't even have families. Do you get? They never had daddy and mommy. It's not that it wasn't easy for them. They just grew up in a household and they kept moving houses. You are with this person today. You are with this auntie tomorrow. They'll say, oh, that's your auntie. That's your uncle. And that's what their life has been. That is enough to destabilize a person.
Yeah.
Then, for some people, they grew up in an environment where they always had to perform. A performative life is tiring. So when they have the opportunity to have liberty, they stop performing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, here we go. Finally, I can live my best life. And then they throw caution to the wind and go downhill. So I see that person and I'm not saying, oh, why is this person so this? I'm saying why. And then I hear that person's story and I tell them, you can still live within some measure of control, discipline without performing. And they're like, is it possible? Yes. So you see, it has helped my ministry, whether as a counselor, teens counselor, children's teacher, premarital, marital, HR coach, in whatever capacity. Bottom line is that I find that when I ask why, I'm able to unravel so much behind people. And so the goal is not to look perfect in people's eyes. I feel bad that that's still how I am seen by most people. I think it's good and bad. It's good to be told you are good. It feels good. But it's worrisome for people to think you are perfect, because then it robs you of an opportunity to experience humanity along with them, just the simplicity of it. So it's a journey. I'm not that self-righteous kid anymore. But I know that it's still somewhere as my default response. So I check it the moment. I say it's me talking. I say it's my younger self talking. I check it and I say, no, we're going to find out why before we judge or make a judgment in this situation. And it has helped me to be a better parent, mentor, coach, name it, teacher. I'm just able to connect with people because of their why.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Let's leave Oriyomi now and talk about Toyin.
Yes.
And I would start from something that you had said and then would segue back to a few, maybe early 30s, talking about career. But you had mentioned something about the way you see people and asking why and trying to understand. And with knowledge that I have as well, you were able to use that to counsel people, to help pull people out of darkness a lot of times. What kickstarted that journey for you? The journey of embracing people that are not even your own children, putting them in your home, helping them to part a way for themselves, drawing them out of darkness or holes that they have dug so deep. So what kickstarted that journey? When exactly? Just take me back to that.
I don't know what, and I don't know when. But as far as we said we'll leave Oriyomi, but we have to talk about her. Because I remember that I would look through the window of my father's car as he's taking us to school, and I'd see children trekking to school. And in my mind, I'm like, is there a way that somebody can carry them? Why am I not trekking? Why are they trekking? I've always wanted to fix things. I think I came with a follow-come conscription of fixer from heaven. So I want to fix things. I believe that My father calls me an unrepentant optimist. I believe that it can be done. Anybody can change. It's not the end. I've been like that since I was young. So if I say when, I can't isolate when, but I know that I've always thought it can be better. So what I used to look forward to is, God, just give me small money. Just give me money. Give me exposure. When I have it, I will do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. When I finished, was it secondary school, and entered university, I had this dream that I would go to primary schools and start to talk to children. I felt like if we could save female children, at the time were my goal, if we could save female children in that window where they transition into junior secondary school from primary school, we could save a lot in their lives. Because I watched it happen with myself, with my friends. That's where the switch happens. Sometimes when you capture them in senior secondary school, they're already sort of formed by whatever life has dished them. So I was going to go to schools, tell the principals to please let us talk to children, wanted to give them sex education. We wanted to talk about everything important that they need to hear. And most importantly, to offer them what I have, the love of God. So how far back is that far?
Okay.
Why? Was that the second question? I want to be sure I'm answering the second question as well. So why? Because someone has to do it. And my mantra, at least one of them, is if I can't change the world, at least I can change the world for one person. So I believe in the one person approach. If we take one person and we remove them from an environment that is killing them and put them in an environment that will make them thrive, and they succeed, then they will take one person and move that person and imagine the chain reaction. All the evil in the world went through the same chain reaction. Say, for instance, in boarding school, you were beaten when you were in junior school. You were beaten, you were punished. Then you become a senior.
Exactly.
And you're like, I will show them, it's my turn.
Exactly.
You want to do your own. Imagine you were offered grace and love as a junior student. When you become a senior, what will you do?
You offer grace and love.
So that's what drives me. And that's why even when I became head girl in my secondary school, I said, my regime will not be for punishing, will not be for beating. There are other ways we can achieve what we want to achieve. I believe very much in talking more than disciplining children. Talk to children. Talk to them long enough. They will hear you and they will adjust. Speak to their spirits long enough. The spirit will respond and begin to force the body to align to do what it should do. And it works. So I've always been a believer in the transformation power of love. Love is the catalyst. That's what I say. Love is the catalyst that has carried me through, that makes me believe that anything and anyone can be transformed if they encounter genuine, consistent love that is not tied to transactions, give and take. I'll share a random story. There was a young man, a young boy, he was still a boy at the time, and everyone had reported him. Oh, he's a rebel, he's this, he's stubborn, he's this. So I sat with him and I said, I really like you very much. I think that there is potential in you. And I think that if we work together, you'll be awesome. You have a huge purpose. And we had to talk. And that began like a mother-son relationship of sorts. But you see, one of those days, he calls me, like physically, and he says, Mama, I love you very much. I'll do anything you want, even if you want me to give you my body. I found that very strange. Why does a young boy want to give me his body? And he said, oh, well, that's what most elderly women do that like him. That's what he gives in exchange. Then it made sense what God wanted me to do. I'm an older woman and God needs me. He probably has been sending the other older women to do the same thing, but humanity got in the way. So in that moment, it was a teachable moment. I said, no, I don't want anything in return. I just want you to come out great. And he cried. I don't think he had known that it was possible for someone to give without wanting something back. I'm not a saint, Of course, you want something back. You want the person to thrive. You want the person to make it. You want them to not go back to the things that brought them there in the first place. So yes, that's what I desire. But I'm not expecting payment. I'm not giving so somebody can drive a Range Rover to my house and say, because you did it like in the movies, because you did this for me, see this car, tear rubber. Oh, that would be nice if you give me a Range Rover. Don't watch this and now go and change your mind. Please bring the tear rubber. I will take it. But that's not why I do what I do. I do it because I believe very much in the force of love transforming humanity.
Thanks. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never really understood your why.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm also a recipient of the love that you have shown to different people. Yeah. I think I want to ask specifically around maybe situations where it didn't pan out that way.
Yeah.
You know, you opened your home, you invested, and like you said, you desired them to thrive, to do better.
Yeah.
But then I want you to tell me about times when it didn't work out that way. And even times where you opened your home, your heart, and you were deeply hurt by it. And how come you stayed despite that?
Yeah, because the person that called me is not human. So human beings can't take it from me. But I will feel, I don't lie, I will pause to feel the pain, the betrayal, the lies. I hear things said about me. It's almost as if there are a group of people who are waiting to hear bad happen to me. You know, that's the problem when people put you on a pedestal. So it's like, she has made a mistake. We knew it. She wasn't perfect. It's painful when you want something for someone more than they want it for themselves.
Yeah.
But I've realized you can't go past that. People have to want it as much as you want it for it to transform them. And when that doesn't happen, I grieve. I grieve like when somebody died. I cry. I will be awake 2 a.m. so that I won't disturb my children and my family, and I will cry myself out. And I will say, Holy Spirit, this is hard. It's hard to love someone that is this vindictive, backbiting about me, saying things that are not true, and I'm hearing it, and I want to defend myself, and you are saying I can't. I should just focus, and I should still show love. It's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not. Because I can't just do my life and forget about all of this. Why do I even have to do it? Oh, I have those meltdowns. And when I hit those moments, He strengthens me. He reminds me of my purpose. He being the Holy Spirit. He's a helper. I cannot not talk about my faith when I talk about myself, because I am a product of my faith. In my eating, in my drinking, in my living. It's practical in my life. It's not something I do in church. It's who I have been. It's my DNA. You grieve. I grieve. I try. And there's a part of me that can be funny. If I shut down towards a person, I struggle to light it up again. And I hate performing. So I hate faking it. So I try not to allow anyone take me to that point, because I will just shut down. And then it's so hard to create that nurturing feeling I had towards them again. And I think it's also okay to accept that everyone isn't ready to be better than they are. It's difficult. I didn't come to this knowledge today. I used to feel I can want something for somebody till they want it for themselves. Yeah. But I've made peace. As I'm getting older, I know everyone doesn't want what you want for them, even if it's good for them. Sometimes they can't live where they are. So that's what gave birth to me collaborating with therapists. When I realized on my journey that some people, the trauma is the one leading them. It's leading their decisions, it's leading their actions, their inactions, their emotions. So everything I'm doing cannot work. They are self-destructing, they are ruining their homes, and they can't stop themselves from doing it. And it's frustrating me, and I'm angry. And then I realized that there is a need, even if you have God, to sometimes stop and go check your emotions and learn coping strategies and learn about trauma, recognize it in yourself and fix it one day at a time. It's not a quick fix. And I've learned that too, that it can't just be magical. For some people it is so. They just drop bad habits, pick new habits. But for some people it's a journey of years. But the end is that they shift. No matter how small, they shifted. I live for the shift. And that keeps me going. Because the success stories are more. And they are a sign that I'm doing something right. And I won't relent.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can you tell me or describe an experience where you opened your home to someone and it deeply hurt you?
That has happened. And they happen at different stages of my life, right? Because I'm growing too. I'm now more cautious in opening my home to people. I'm very protective, much more than I used to be. For me, it was just, you need help, come, stay, go, move on. But I realized that people determine the energy in your home. And so you can have a culture in your home. If they come with a culture that negates your culture, it will affect your own.
Yeah.
It may not kill it totally, but it does something that dilutes it. Then there'll just be a vibe that is unusual.
Yeah.
It has happened, and with no intent to pick any particular person, because I like to think back now, being older and wiser, that they were on a journey and they are better people today. I think that it's just that entitlement that was the painful part. That feeling of, oh, are you not my family? Or are you not supposed to know better? Are you not the more reasonable one? And so people are dealing unreasonable things at you in your own home and think you should take it. Or they are determining what to do when they want to do it, how they want to do it, and think you should take it. Those things are very disrespectful. And so there is a very, very values-driven side of me that believes certain things cannot be done. I've lived with people.
Yeah.
I've had to live with people. And the first thing I learned in my first few days is, how do they do things here? Then I simply do it the way they want to do it. But I think there's something about my home that gives this vacation vibe to people. So when they just walk, it's like, these people are so chill, they can't take anything. So let me just do anyhow. So the first step is usually to call them out on it. I don't like this. Can you stop it? If it continues, then we have a conversation and discuss our goodbyes. Because what it means is you cannot submit to the culture, the values of this home, but you want to be in the home, then you have to be paying rent, and you are not, so it's goodbye. That's it. I don't overthink it anymore. Like in the past, where I feel it was me, I should have done something differently. Nah. You have options. Go get another place. It's not that deep.
I mean, that brings me to our journey together.
Right.
I remember the same conversation you had with me to just define, this is how we do things at home, this is how we do things here. So you have to align to it. I mean, you didn't say I should go,
Yeah.
but I remember leaving and then coming back.
Yeah.
So I think my question in just discussing our journey together would be, why me? How do you know who to take on?
I don't know. I'm not that good. I don't know. I just follow. It's intuitive. Okay. So you were ill and I was HR and I was supposed to support a staff during COVID whose family member can't be with her. She's young, she's alone, she's sick, very sick, and her mother can't come because we were on lockdown at the time. And I think they were just phasing it out, but they weren't allowing interstate travels yet at the time. So, and then I show up, and then I meet you, and I'm thinking, so who's going to take care of her when she leaves the hospital? Then that became, because of the maternal nurturing side of me, I took that on. So when did I know? Somewhere along the journey, I realized this is not one of those people that you just help and that's where it ends. This is one of those who you see a lot of things and mistakes you could have easily made in, and you know, and you have the gift to redirect her. So the moment I see that, something clicks inside of me and I take it on. And that's how it has always worked. There is no knowing every time. There are times where there is a clear knowing, but there are times where it is, I could have done this. I know what to do to stop this. I can help. I have enjoyed your evolution. Just watching the journey This was from 2020.
Yeah.
And this is 2025. So that's what keeps me going, because there is, there are shifts, and they are major sometimes, they are small sometimes, or maybe there are no shifts. It's just a relationship that continues to evolve.
Yeah.
So I'm drawn in, and I continue to see relevance. And it's okay when there is no longer a need in that sense. Then it's just a beautiful relationship of two people exploring life together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we received a few questions from friends, family members, and mentees, and we'll just take that now. So I'll just start with the first question.
Please go ahead.
And it's, when you think of your mentees, what thought makes you the most joyous?
I think seeing them leading something, being a part of something meaningful. I love to see brands come out of people who once thought they weren't even great. Then to see that they now own brands, businesses, they are leading ventures, they are talking about progressive things that helps other people. So I live for that chain reaction, actually. The fact that they've moved past needing support to offering support to people. So that's my happy place. It's just seeing it play out. I don't even need to still be in touch with the mentee. The fact that I see it, it just lights me up in a very exciting way.
Yeah. I mean, it can be very rewarding.
Yes, it is rewarding.
Yes.
It is.
The second question would be, what do you value most in friendships and in relationships?
I think frankness. And it's not that thing where people say, we must be transparent and all. I mean, frankness, even when it's uncomfortable.
Exactly, yeah.
People think relationships have to always be giddy and happy. I disagree. I think that the best relationships are the ones where we can call out each other when we feel we did not show up in the right way with the right energy with each other, and we're able to sit and talk through it face to face and say, you know what? I agree, I messed up. I also like it when our relationship has grown to the point where we can say, I should have done this differently. I heard this, I felt this, it wasn't you, it was me. Oh, it was you. You apologize and you move on. I just feel like communication and frankness keeps it going. Then the ability to forgive. I find it very uncomfortable when people keep recounting wrong done in a relationship. I feel like it's living backwards, right? Because so much good has happened. Why are you not recounting the good? Why do we have a conflict and you go and dig out 10,000 things that happened years ago? So I am very uncomfortable with people like that, and they would likely not be in my inner circle. I think I also do not like gossiping. Like, don't come and tell me about another friend. Let's call the friend. Let's sit down and say, this is what we are thinking. We are worried. How do we fix it? And then let's all of us go feeling lighter. I hate she said, he said, they said. It burdens me. I feel like I'm carrying unnecessary burdens when it happens. So yeah, communication, frankness, and the capacity to forgive and move forward.
That's interesting. I'll stick by those three things myself. The last question, and it's about two questions, but I'll just merge that into one.
Okay.
What advice would you give to people between the ages of 25 to 35? And it could be also you just saying, what would you have told yourself at that age? Yeah.
It's tricky. I got married at 25. So I would want to categorize it as married or unmarried.
Okay.
To the married 25 to 30-year-old, I'd say, don't be hard on yourself. You are young, so you are going to grow in the marriage. I wish someone told me that I would grow in the marriage. I would shift, I would change. And because growth is still happening, even biologically, I hear that as at 25, most women are not fully developed. So you don't even know that, and then you are probably getting pregnant at 26. I was pregnant with my first daughter. So there's so much going on. So the ability to offer yourself grace and realize that you are on a journey where you will continue to learn, and that's okay. That's what I would say to the married one. Don't be too hard on yourself on the times you miss it. Chuck it down under, I learned a new thing. We move on. Don't lose yourself It's hard, especially when you marry young, but let there still be you, the things you love, the things you aspire to do. It may twist a bit because of your new status, but run with your dreams because this life not per head though. When we go to heaven, God is going to ask, what did you do with you? Not as the mother of this. It's excellent to play those roles, but it's important to have a strong sense of self and not lose it. To the unmarried one, I would say, leave. Don't hold your breath waiting to be married. It's so unfortunate that it's a bloody circle I see. So you are not married, you're worried about being married. You are married, you're worried about staying married and all the responsibilities. So why don't, and the people married will be like, I wish I was you, I'm just free. The people unmarried will be like, I wish I was you, see, loving and Instagram, all the, So at the end of the day, it's just a world where we will never be fully satisfied. So an unmarried 26, 25 to 30-year-old, please love yourself, travel. There are many things you can't do when you marry. Let me give you the expo now. All your plans, I will tour the world. I will go to 4 countries in 2 weeks. You cannot do it when you're carrying 2 little human beings or 1 little human being. So do it now. Live authentically, learn, grow, and enjoy your singleness so that when you are married, you will enjoy your married life too. To the 30 to 35, I'd say something. I'd say, now, if you married early, your children are growing, they no longer need you like before. So you see, the circle is back again. Who are you? What do you want to do? Do what you want to do. Explore new things. Try a new career path. Whatever it is, just don't be afraid to be and to become. If you never found yourself in your 20s and you're like 35, and you're like, how did I get here? I'm approaching 40. Who am I? It's not late now. Some of us are still finding ourselves at almost 40. So please, by all means, offer yourself grace and surround yourself with people who will hold you accountable till you live your dreams. And listen to them when they are talking. The reason we are doing this is because I listened. The reason some of my brands exist is because I stayed accountable to people who pushed it, who made the design before I was ready to make the first recording, who went and announced it, and then I was forced to do it. So surround yourself with doers. Be a performer. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
How are you? So good to see you.
Same here. How has it been?
Good. Nimi has drilled me, and now it's your turn.
As expected, right?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
All right. So if you're wondering why I'm here, I'm riding on the thoughts of the first session, and now we'll be discussing career and work and spirituality for those that are really, really interested in this part. Don't mind them. I'm not that serious, but it is what it is. All right. So let me just go with my first question, and it's about your spiritual life. Is there a moment where, there's this thing around saying there's a waiting season that everyone has at some point in their journey of faith with God? Yeah. So have you ever had one before?
Yeah. Varieties, but for time, there are 2 types of waiting that I've experienced and that have humbled me. Is waiting outside the hospital room for a loved one going through a procedure, surgery of any kind. Recently, my ward gave birth, and I remember sitting and looking at the empty bed of her empty bed and the empty bed of the baby, and all I just thought in my heart is, God, bring the 2 of them out of that place. That's a type of waiting. There's a time my ward had a major eye surgery where it was long. In fact, I wrote a piece while waiting for them to come out because it felt so long. I felt impatient, eager. I wanted to know the verdict. We're talking about the eye here. What if they've done something? What if she never sees? So there's that type of waiting. Then there's the waiting that I experienced in my career. And there was a season where the jobs just weren't coming. I'm HR, right? I help people prepare for interviews. They come back and say, Auntie T, I got the job. Thank you. Everything you said worked. I'm like, why is it not working for me? Why is it not working for my husband? And I struggled spiritually too. But I think what it taught me was that I was an entitled child of God. I felt like I had done everything right. I have lived the good life. I expect that things should happen when I want them to happen. So waiting taught me patience. It taught me the value when you now have that thing.
Yes.
You know how you've waited for something and then when you
Finally
get it,
yes.
it's like, finally, yes. And then you value it, you treasure it, and you make the best of it. It's not like, it was easy to get. So yeah, we did have a waiting period. And I say we because it was my husband and I out of work and nobody knew.
Wow.
They were still showing up. We're still showing up for people, going for events, being in our family like we will, because we just felt that it would be discouraging to people if we shared it. But there were people who got to know and they were very supportive. So I think waiting also gives birth to you learning to lean on others. You are not the one who will always be the strength for everybody.
Yeah.
So I realized that it was okay to ask for help and to lean on other people as well. Waiting made me creative. So in that season where there was no job, I would go to a co-market. For those who know Lagos, they know a co-market. I would go there and I would shop for my friends. So what do you want? Send it to me. I'm in Lagos. I'll shop. They'll pay me for shopping.
Interesting.
Oh yes, I hustled though. Then I went into printing business.
No, you look too cute for that.
Oh yes, I would carry my items on my head. If I didn't have enough money to pay the alabarus, that's what we used to call them. And I'll carry it. I had my dressing and uniform for the market. If you see me, you will not know I'm a posh lady, and I enjoyed the experience because it gave birth to a different side of me. I would negotiate, I would speak, my sharp Yoruba was fine-tuned. Then printing, I started to do souvenirs.
Okay.
I was even able to do souvenirs for schools during their matric.
Okay.
I got some deals, so that brought in money, and it also opened a side of me I didn't know. So yeah, waiting gives birth to creativity as well, and draws things you didn't know you had.
Very interesting, though.
Yeah.
It also shows that I would say that aren't we all entitled?
Yes,
Right,
at the end of the
thinking
day.
that I prayed, I've done everything I've prayed, so God have to answer
Yeah.
me and all of that.
Yeah.
But if you just listening to you and hearing how you were able to navigate that,
Yeah.
you didn't suck on it, or how do they say, you didn't suck over it, and
Right.
then you're able to say, okay, while I'm waiting for this, what do I have, and make do with it.
Yep.
Right. How would you now? Let's move to the side of faith in God.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you're like, yeah, I did everything right beyond the fact that I'm doing this, but God, really, why are you not answering my prayers? How do you stay on track with God? Because that feeling of doubt and fear may not entirely go away. We can Christianize it and make it like, I have faith.
Yeah.
But really, how do you stay on track when things are really hard?
I draw support. My husband sometimes covers me in prayers, support. I know many times that I'll be sleeping and somebody's hand is on my head praying, and I'm just taking it in because it's almost like he senses that I'm in a season where I'm struggling to pray for myself. There is that, or some random days I'm driving and I'll just get a voice note and tears will just well up in my eyes because a friend somewhere far away is like, you crossed my mind. I want to tell you, I love you. God is mindful of you. And he told me to encourage you. Like, it just be like, God is real.
Yeah.
Because it comes in the nick of time. The words are seasoned and timely. So it carries me. God gave me a very vibrant, honest community as well. And they show up, they check in. Somebody just sends something I like to eat on a day that I'm feeling very low.
Yes.
And that just lifts my spirit. As small as it is, it feels like God is saying, I've got you.
Yeah.
And it just wakes me up again.
Yeah. Yeah, like I see you.
Yeah.
I know you're here. I've not left you.
Yeah.
The better days are ahead. But even in
Absolutely.
this, you're still here. So
Absolutely.
I don't know who might need that word of encouragement. Know that God is there with you. And when you get those hints from your friends, whether it's your spouse, please always remember to take it in, accept it, tell them, thank you, this mattered. Because sometimes I receive words, I share. If you really don't tell me that I will struggle to share with you. Yes.
I get you.
And then person like, oh, I really needed to hear this at this time. The next time God drops a word, I'll be very eager that whether it makes sense or not, I'm going to say it because I think God wants me to say this to you.
Yeah.
So please, if that's you there, dear viewer, please
just do
embrace it. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I think just to move on quickly to career and work.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. We know that you're a HR professional, right?
Yeah.
A HR professional. So was there something about your career journey that you think, nobody would ever guess that you've done. I won't count the shopper and typewriter bits of it, but as a career woman, is there probably a kind of work that you've done, like people would never imagine that you've done this before?
I don't know. I think people will imagine most of the things I've done, whether it's proofreading a book, so maybe people would not know that I've been part of creating websites, content. Yes, I've done that, but I did it for fun. I didn't know it was a thing. Now see people making money from it. If I knew, I would have just gone to hone the skill and be making money. So those things were fun for me, creating content for websites, vision, mission. I enjoyed doing it and creating unique scripts for each person. There was no AI, so you're doing it from your head, and it must not be plagiarism. You can't copy and paste from anywhere. So it was exciting to do that. I think aside that, of course, is the one I said about my side hustles that I have done, and I know that one of the things it gave birth to in me is the fact that there are many sides to me, and I actually enjoy shopping for people than for myself. I struggle to shop for myself, but if I'm shopping for people, leave me. I can go any length, get the best of the best. I think I'm motivated by the fact that I'm not the recipient. It's someone else, and they're like, wow, this is nice, this is quality. So yeah, I think those are the things that come to mind. Funnily, it might interest some people that I am a marriage counselor. So what I've realized is the people who know me as HR think that's all I am.
Yeah.
Then the people who know me as a marriage counselor think that's what I do for a living. Somebody once asked me, is this all you do? I think she was worried a bit. Like, this can be all, right? And I said, no, this is not even what I really do.
Yes.
This is just something I do on the side, right? Because it's a calling. Or when I'm teaching children, sometimes it feels like that's all there is to me, and my heart and life is in it. So I think parts of me are compartmentalized, but they also complement each other in a sense. So yeah.
Okay. Speaking as someone whose life is being compartmentalized at the moment, so
yeah, you can totally relate.
Yes, I can relate, and I'm just curious because sometimes you go out, probably at some event or conference, and they're like, who are you? And then I go, I do this, I do that, I do this.
Sound
I'm
chaotic.
like, do I sound confused? So maybe there's someone also out there trying to answer that. I don't know. Do you think it's okay to do many things?
I think it's okay.
And do it well.
A pastor, one of my pastors in Lagos once told me when I shared this with him, and it has stayed with me. He said, Tony, God gave you each gift for a reason, but you don't need to deploy all in the same season.
Okay.
So I'd always struggled with that. I thought I needed to be doing, by the way, career, stage play. I forgot that part. Script writer and stage play director. The people in Abuja don't even know that side of me at all. And I did this with, like, my life depended on it. Script writing, rehearsals at night till daybreak, all of that. So talking about this reminded me of it, right? Because I was carrying that burden. I'm no more writing plays. But I'm looking for a job. I've gotten this job, is demanding. Then I'm a mother.
Yeah.
Then I teach in church. Then it's just a lot. And then he told me, relax. That it's okay, that the season of acting will come. I'll even forget I'm a HR person. The season of HR will come. I will not even remember that there is a teaching, marital, premarital side of me. And that gave me a measure of peace. So he said, being multi-talented can come across as a mixed blessing. Like, it's blessing you, but it's also a burden.
Yeah.
But that when we look at it like that and we realize that the person who put it in us knows why, and we don't need to force it. You just feel this is the season and you just enter into it. So that has worked for me.
Okay, that's beautiful for those that hashtag jack of all trades kind of.
Yes, we can be master of all. Small.
Yes, because sometimes people are like, no, you can't do everything well.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I think I'm actually doing everything right.
Doing badly.
Yeah, so if you are that workaholic or Jackie and whatever, please enjoy it. And like she said, if you're in this phase, you're doing one more than the other, thumbs up, you're doing very well.
Yeah, it's okay.
Thank you. I think that another question I would like to ask, maybe it's not necessarily career, but amongst this plenty or many gifts that you have, is there one you think you've not really maximized? Like, you're close to 40 now. So, you're 40, let's see.
I think drama.
Drama, right?
Yeah, and it haunts me. I dream and I see myself on stages directing, and you know, I loved acting. Then my love for acting led to me telling stories, and now I love telling stories more than acting. So I'm more interested in seeing my characters come to life than being the character.
Okay.
So I shifted. and I've not used it in a while. So sometimes I enter a space and I just picture building a stage, creating characters. I have a stage play, for instance, in my head. I've carried it for 6 years.
Wow.
And I know the story from beginning till the end, and I've not written one page.
Wow.
So I'm openly confessing so that people can hold me accountable. In this new decade, Toyin will release this stage play, and hopefully from there we have more.
Okay.
Telling stories is a big part of my life that I need to reawaken.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe this is for younger folks. Like, if there's that one mistake you think you could have undone in the past.
Is this career?
Career-wise, yes.
Oh.
Because as a young career person, there are different, of course, you go to seminars, conferences, they're telling you, do this, do that. Don't stay in a job for more than 2 years. But that's like the trend for the younger guys now. If you want to grow...
job hopping.
Exactly. Don't stay more than 2 years. But I've seen people that have stayed for 7 years, 10 years in an organization, and it worked for them. So is there something that maybe you also fell for one of those kind of talk? I'm not saying that's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
But if there's a mistake, you're like, I know if I should turn back the hands of the clock, I would have done things differently in my career at this point.
You know, we didn't have a lot of perspire to inquire to inspire back in the day.
Yeah.
These days are recent.
True though.
There weren't people to reference. There weren't coaches. It wasn't even a thing. You're on your own. You navigate life. You just see daddy and mommy were civil servants. Then you want to do more than them.
Yes.
So you now go to one corporate job in Lagos. That was it. We didn't aspire for too much. There wasn't investment and all of those things.
True.
So that takes me to one thing I wish I did. I knew better about investing. Like, you know how you think you need to have a lot of money to start investing, but now I know better that that's not true. I know that if you make a habit of putting something aside for the future from everything you get, it compounds with time. So I'm learning compounding, investing, and saving. I wish I knew earlier. I think another one is not being upfront with my strengths on a job. Right? I remember staying on one role for 5 years. And when I was leaving, the HR director told me, I wish you showed this fire on the job.
Oh, wow.
So it was in the exit interview. I had that chat with her. And then she's like, so you're this sharp. I 10 new 5 years. So I'm like, never again. I don't need to be loud, but I need to be precise about what I'm good at and own my work. So I realized that I was doing a lot of work, but my supervisor was owning it. And that's not because it's a bad or good thing. I don't judge him. I just think that he was doing what most supervisors would do. It was my job to also put myself forward. Every opportunity I had, question things. Why am I not getting promoted? She actually told me, you weren't getting promoted because I thought he was doing all the work for you.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, wow, that's unfair.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you went on maternity leave and he didn't need a backup. So that means you're not doing anything. Only that I came back to meet all of my work.
Oh, no.
So you see that? So what it just told me is I need to put forward what I am good at and not think that's humility. Especially when you're not confrontational.
Yes.
So you're in a workplace that is very competitive and you're just playing small. Let nobody see me. No. I've learned. I don't need to shout, but what I do, I would defend it. I would own it and I will speak to it every chance I get. So that's my challenge to any young person. Don't play small. The world of work is not fair. It's for the bold.
Top. Okay, I needed to say it all because, there's also that, because I also currently work, at least I have, say 5 years now in my career profession. And there's that thin line, or maybe it's not that clean, between you being confident that you can walk up to ask your boss this X, Y, and then speak up. And then they're like, oh, that girl is rude, or she's such a brat.
She's too much.
Yeah, she's too much.
Right.
Or she too do the language. So how do you balance that you are not, you don't appear, is it jumpy now? But then you are still confident and you're not hiding.
I think eye service is different from showing your work. Eye service is playing to be seen by the boss, doing the things, showing up in their face. But sometimes doing your work can look like eye service when you are speaking to it. That's the one I say people should not care about. People can gossip about it. It's your work. And you are speaking to it. But eye service, for instance, is, okay, Oga will be in this thing. Let me quickly show up there. Let me say all the things he wants to hear. That is a bit manipulative and unhealthy. And if you're not careful, you will lose focus from doing the work and pleasing the boss. So one thing I tell people, if you do your work well, you will be seen. Then when the day of your showing now comes, don't play small.
Okay.
Oh, who did this? Oh, I heard you were the one who did it. You said, no, then you now say, no, it wasn't me. What? No, it is you. Speak to it. Own your moment. You waited for this for so long. And when the spotlight is not on you, it's okay. Don't fight for it at all costs to the point of hurting other people. That's dangerous.
Okay, yeah,
that's
hurting
the line.
other people. Yeah, that's true. But there's sometimes people are also very hypocritical.
Yes.
Right? Where you are in a team, everybody's saying they don't like being seen, they don't like being seen. To me, I like being seen.
And that's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Yes.
And then you look like, oh, but we all like, we didn't agree, but it's like, oh, we thought we unanimously agreed that
we don't like being seen.
Yes.
You're
and they're like,
oh,
she and now she has slid us, so she's going to meet the boss directly and all of that. But anyways, like you said, I hope you've learned something there, young professional, even the older ones. Maybe it's still while you're probably stuck where you are. And you just need to be a bit more bold or to be bolder than you currently are. You can just move forward. Maybe just one more question to wrap up this session would be, how do you do it? Like staying attentive, staying caring, and staying refreshed after spending yourself again. And that's because work is stressful. Let's not lie.
Very.
If they are sharing money somewhere for free, I wouldn't
Soft
mind
life.
going to line up and say, yes, please, happy to stand till I get mine, right? Or sometimes, and I don't want to say this only for moms, because sometimes like, oh, you're a mother, you're a wife, you're working. Even
you
fathers,
may not even be,
he's a father, he's a husband, he's working. So for any individual at all, what would you advise to stay fresh, stay refreshed, manage burnout, right? And also being attentive and caring. And there's also church for the Christians. So how do you just manage all that mix?
Religious roles and all of that.
And you don't feel like, oh, boy.
They are still somebody's child too.
Yes.
So their parents and family to take care of. There's no simple answer, and I don't think I have it figured out. It's my honest response. I still burn out, and sometimes it's burnout that reminds me I need rest. But what I'm learning now is to see it coming. Okay, and to say, go and leave doing. Before I thought leave was when you used yourself up, then you don't have a choice. You can't get out of the bed. Let me apply for a leave. But now I'm learning, and I learned it funnily from my colleagues in the UK. I find that they can foresee stress and just take time off. They don't need it to be a chunk. Yes, they'll just say, oh, my children are going to be on midterm break. I'll be off that week. I didn't think of that. Toyin will work with her children on midterm break. I want to be present with the children. I want to be present in church. Because that's what we're taught. There was like a glorification of hustle.
Yes.
Just be pushing the grind. And I get it. Hard work and smart work is good. But now, person with their life, now they work. So
and the best I like that will reap the fruit.
Exactly, after doing everything. So I have a new thing where if new money comes in, like if I get money for work done, I must buy something I like. It mustn't be grand. Sometimes it's food I like to eat, and I'll just sit down and look at it and be happy. This is from my work. But before, I'll just think, I need to do this, and it's all gone. And I didn't take care of me. So I'm learning that. I can rest, and it's okay. And when I am resting, I can say no to some commitments too. And it's okay.
And it's fine.
I used to try to say yes to everything. It's not healthy. Because even the people who love you will not like you when you become burnt out. You are irritable, you are frustrated, you are snapping, and then you are losing the you that they love. So I'm learning that I can hibernate and even shut down sometimes and come back refreshed. So the need for that retreat is important. I call it my retreat. I go off social media. I rest. Sometimes it's not a spiritual retreat. It's just a refreshing retreat. I think it works because you come back better for everybody.
Actually, So just relax. If you need to relax
and be taken care of too.
And take care of yourself. Right. Well, so thank you so much, right?
Yes.
So dear father, dear mother, dear uncle, auntie, single, not single, please rest when you need to, and don't feel a need to show up for everybody at every time, because at the end of the day, it's you that is alive
that will show up.
Yes, that will show up, right? And the world doesn't wait for anyone. This has really been a great session, if you tell me, and I
absolutely
did learn
agree
a lot from it, right? And to wrap up, we'll just have Mimi join us right away.
Sure.
All right, so drawing insight from my session and Nimi's session earlier, we hope that you've learned something and you found the conversation very insightful and engaging. Yes, I would like to apologize to those who had shared their questions and we probably missed them. It's because we did not have the whole day or the whole week to ask TeeWai those questions, right? But then I hope that as we wrap up now with these 3 questions that we have left, you are able to still find your answers and you're able to move on with some lessons, some stories that will keep you motivated. And for whatever reason you may be watching, we hope that you find that reason and you're blessed or you're happy. So let me just ask one of the questions, TeeWai. We know that you've lived a life of consistency, you've embodied it, or that's what everybody says, consistency, resilience, and character. And just also knowing how it's not easy to be consistent, to be resilient, and have good character. We would like to hear from you how you've embodied this with grace and how you've built that strength that has kept you. I don't know when it started, but I would assume for the last almost 40 years.
Yeah, fair. It's an interesting question because I don't feel like I'm as consistent as people think, right? I feel like if I were to describe myself in 2 words, I would say organized chaos. I come across as very meticulous, well planned out, thoughtful, but there's some chaos. So it's also me, like the organized part is me, the chaos is also me. Yeah. It's funny that as organized as my space can be, there's a place I scatter, and that's the only way I understand that place.
Interesting.
But everything else must be spick and span. So I feel like that applies to my life. I don't see the consistency that people see, and I appreciate the compliment. I see it as a challenge. If there's consistency that people are seeing, it means the organized is trumping the chaos at the back and all of the pieces that are helping the chaos to appear organized. And I'd give credit to my family, to my community, and my community is a large one. From the believers community, all of it, to the community in our home, wider Lagos, outside Nigeria. It's just those people who keep rooting for you. So when you have people looking up to you, it forces you to live up to what you say. So I can't just advise someone, be consistent, go for it. So for every time I do that, I have to go for something because I need to be able to mentor someone, and that means I'm doing something that they are doing. And I should be doing it better and better and better, so they have something to learn. The moment your mentors or mentees no longer have anything to learn from you, they are the ones mentoring you now. So I feel like that's the challenge. It's more a challenge. It's more than just something I do. It's a challenge to consistently push myself to be better than I was, so that I can push people to be better than they are.
Awesome, awesome.
So what does life mean to you now?
I'll keep it very simple. Life is not something I think I should endure or enjoy. Life for me is something to steward thoughtfully, like you're crafting, like you're mindful every day. And I'd like to say that I desire to create shifts in people, systems, and in spaces that I find myself, no matter how little. So it's something I steward thoughtfully. That's life to me. Yeah.
So shift is the word here.
Yeah,
so creating
I've said
shift,
that so many times.
Interesting. Okay, awesome. All right, so I think one last question would be, today has been a lot before I go ahead, right? And I think that this is something you've never done before, if I'm correct. Yeah, so let's assume your heart today is a journal.
Yeah.
What would today's entry be like?
Oh, man. Yeah. That's what the entry will be like.
Yeah.
Because it has tasked me, but it has also, it has helped me see me in a very humbling and mind-opening way, and I appreciate it. I really do. So yes, Omo man, that's it. That will be the
Just
phrase.
those 2 words.
I mean, it captures it perfectly.
Yes. I'm blessed and I'm grateful for the life that I have.
All right, dear viewers, probably you're viewing this or you're actually listening as you work. Thank you so much for taking our time to hear TeeWai's story unfolded at 40, right? And I hope that you've also garnered some lessons from this session. Our stories would be mirrors for some, lessons and light, right? And typically at 40, you're like, oh, let's do a party. But TeeWai today has given us one of the greatest gifts, which is sharing herself, like opening up herself to the world. And we hope that the real intent of this exercise is actually for people to draw insight, people that don't have access and those who have had access, to manage or to glean some lessons, right? And also realize, because that's me, I'm realizing, let me say, that TeeWai is not a mini god. Yes. She's human, and she has shown a human side to us today, as she has always done anyways, right? So thank you so much. Cheers to 40, and we look forward to seeing her win again. Should we say at 50?
No,
All
maybe
right.
at 45.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah. So see us all at TeeWai at 45, and have a good day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
You said you loved me and you stood by my side. You said you loved me and you gave up yourself. You said you love me and you're going again. Oh, I'm convinced you are my God. You said you loved me and you gave up the ghost. Almighty King, you are the crown of your fire. You didn't care, you came for me. Oh, I'm convinced you are my God. I'm standing strong, I'm standing firm. You are my God. Since I'm going far and going high, you are responsible. One with God will win this race. Oh, I'm convinced you are my God. Oh, I'm the one you truly love. Oh, you're not dead in my Noel. Yeah. More than once you proved your love. Oh, I'm convinced you are my God. Oh, I'm the one you truly love. Oh, you're not dead in Emmanuel. More than once you proved your love. Oh, I'm convinced you are my God. Said you loved me and you gave up the ghost. You said you loved me.